Good morning. Today we have Brett Marsh from Spartan Metals, and Spartan's got, do I have this right? Tungsten, silver, rubidium. Those are your top three?
That's correct. Yeah, thanks, Tracy.
You're a recent addition to the stock market, and you just recently dual listed. You've been OTCQB listing on the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, that is. So it's SPRMF.
And of course, what happened? You have a great critical mineral story. You have a past producing mine in Nevada, Tungstonia. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Tungstonia was active in the 30s and 40s around World War II time frame and went dormant in the 50s. And so it's really, sat unexplored since then. And we've got, a pretty good asset there, we think. We've got really good results that we've seen from surface. And past data actually suggests we've got really high grade tungsten that's still to be discovered.
And of course, you're talking about tailings too. So tailings recovery. So there's a fast track for real revenue here at Spartan. Is that correct?
Yeah, we really hope that's the case. We recently completed 34 holes into the tailings and sent that out for assay, and an additional 2 holes we collected specifically for metallurgical work to look at recovering the tungsten, silver, and rubidium that's present there.
And of course, I'm going to get back to the tungsten here in a second, but rubidium, there's a critical mineral that doesn't get a lot of PR. Tell us a little bit more about that because that's a highly valued critical mineral.
Yeah, for sure. It's really unique in its properties, and it's being researched heavily and utilized now for quantum computers and the next generation telecommunications. And of course, it's also used in atomic clocks, which is a big component of advanced weapon systems. So it's definitely got its fingers, if you will, in a lot of different aspects of the industry where it can go from high tech into military applications. So it's it's very unique.
And your timeline to recovery in this tailings is what? What are we looking at? A year, 2 years?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. The faster the better from my perspective, but we want to make sure we do everything right with the right testing and make sure we get the right information so we can make the best decisions for the company.
And for those of you out there going, silver, tungsten, rubidium, how have I not heard about Spartan Metals? You actually have, in addition to Tungstonia, you have a second project, which has an amazing name. Can you tell our audience a little bit more about that one as well, please?
Yeah, so the Rees project, or the Rees claim block as we call it, also has 2 past producing mines within it, which one of them being the Rees, which is a past producing tungsten mine, and Antelope, which is a polymetallic silver, copper, antimony, arsenic type of deposit that we're really excited about as well. So it definitely gives us a lot of optionality in a very small package of land.
We were also looking at what's happened since you started with Spartan Metals, which was what, 6 months ago?
That's correct. Yeah, I took over as a CEO in mid-October, and I was president, a few months before that.
And this has really turned into quite the story for you and the investment in Spartan Metals. Can you tell us how you got introduced to the projects at Spartan Metals and what made you decide to become the CEO for Spartan Metals?
Yeah, sure. It's all about past relationships, right? The industry is really strong in that regard, and the Eagle project, which has Tungstonia and Rees, was actually staked by Ridgeline Minerals rather. And I have a past relationship with their senior leadership, and so when it came time for me to look for the next step in my career, I reached out to those guys more for guidance than anything else and advice. And they actually noted that they had this asset in their portfolio that wasn't part of their core asset strategy, but would make a good critical metal play. And so about last November, I started looking into their data and looking into the project itself. Spent a lot of time in the field on my own, and really came to really love this project because it has has so much to offer. And I think I've said in other interviews and even with you before, Tracy, it's every time we look at the data or go up there, there's something new to be excited about or something that's expanded from our previous knowledge. So it's a very exciting project, and it has a lot of optionality for us going forward.
Can we touch on the copper? Everybody's talking about copper right now, and you have copper as well.
Yeah, we do. So at Antelope, it was actually a past producing copper mine with a lot of silver. So production records, reports rather, have shown that it's had a head grade up to about 4% copper. In recent work in our field season, we've also identified a potential carbonate replacement deposit that's on the southern tip of Tungstonia that has high grade copper and silver with that as well. So that's why I say I get excited, because I've got a great asset with the tungsten silver rubidium within Tungstonia, but then there's all these other components that come in and really make it compelling and exciting for us. Copper in the new discoveries is around 1.5 to 2%, with silver up to about 900 grams per ton.
So you've been moving rapidly since you started with Spartan Metals. What should shareholders be looking forward to in the upcoming quarter?
Yeah, so we collected over 2,100 soil samples already, so we're anxiously awaiting for the results of that to come back and really help us identify even more targets at Tungstonia and Rees. We did the drilling at the tailings, and so that information should be coming back with the metallurgical results. Will probably take another couple months after that. I was actually hopeful to get the results of the drilling before Thanksgiving here in the U.S., but we'll see how that plays out, how the lab can get back to us. And after that, we'll be looking at geophysical results that we're also we will be conducting at the site that will be able to turn all this information into really high priority drill targets for the spring for Tungstonia.
Your technical team is quite sophisticated. You mentioned you're going to an upcoming industry event in Reno and then
Yes.
Roundup in the new year. Is there anything else that you would like to add about your management and board team that you've put together since you just joined?
Yeah, we actually brought on Rebecca Ball, who's a really outstanding geologist and has been very integral into some of the discoveries I've been talking about recently. And so she's really strong technically and really has a good outlook and understanding of what it is that we're trying to do. We've got some advisors that we're bringing onto the team that haven't been made official yet, so I can't quite comment on those. But they're actually going to veterans in the industry that have experience in similar types of deposits that can actually help add value and really help drive the company forward.
And of course, when you hear the word Spartan Metals, you should think about silver, tungsten, copper, and let's not forget rubidium. Thank you so much for joining us today, Brett. And for those of you seeking more information on Spartan Metals, please go to the following website. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Tracy.